right, kids, welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show, yeah, comrade. Today is the January. Oh, I'm not doing a muscle pose. What's that? The fuck is that? I'm not showing my guns. The fuck? Whatever. God, you know, these video programs take one hell of a snapshot on the air for an hour and 10 minutes, and it just shows me with my hands behind my head. Whatever. Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is January 10th, Friday Van Halen Friday, January 10th, 2020. Believe it or not, this show is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Please use it at your own risk. Show is copyrighted by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without my written consent, or you can just ask. I really could give a shit. Finally, show's opinionated. That's why I do it. The host especially, which is me. Callers, 815-290-0912. Guess people that are naughty in the chat room can and always will be opinionated. Under no circumstances whatsoever should opinions ever, never be taken as advice. If you're seeking professional, I'm being distracted. Hello in the chat room. If you are seeking professional advice, don't look here at this fucking place. Sorry. Don't look here. Send. Am I doing DOS commands? If you are seeking professional advice, we strongly encourage you to hire a license if required person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man. No. Are we in Iran? No. That's his name. How you doing? Broadcasting live from the wonderful, gorgeous little town that's getting overpopulated, Loveland, Colorado. So what is happening? Well, not my show this morning. My alarm didn't go off on my phone, and I really don't have any idea why. And I never sleep past 5 o'clock, ever. Not even on weekends. So I'm kind of waking up, and I'm like, whatever. Probably 3 in the morning, I thought. So I kind of like doze back off, and I'm like, okay, it's got to be 4, whatever. So I get up, I pee, I grab my phone, and it says 6:15, and I'm like, fuck. Oops. So, I don't know. I have so many gizmos and things to wake me up, and quite honestly, between my work phone, my iPad, if it wants to work, and then my personal phone, there's no reason in the world I should not get my ass out of bed. But I didn't. So, I'm sorry. Am I fired? You fired, Tim. You didn't show up for work. It's a no-show. Okay, sorry. That's why I'm doing it now. I'm making it up. Please. Oh, please. Please don't fire me. I need my job, even though I don't get paid. And I'm paying $50 a month for me to do this. And nobody's fucking giving me a dime. But nonetheless, please. Please, oh, please don't fire me. I'll be thrown out into the streets and cast into hell forever. So please, please, I'm so sorry. Please. Okay. Is that enough? Is that enough slobbering and what do you call it? I don't know, whatever. Please, I just have to go do this on my own again on podbean.com or whatever. And people can listen to me and tell me to piss off there. Okay. So what else? What's going on? I don't know. No one's in the chat room. Huh. I just might have to do Facebook Live, which I'm not going to, but I'm just saying. Oh, so Neil Peart passed away. On a serious note, that sucks. What a great drummer. Not a huge Rush fan, although I think they're awesome. Probably one of the best or the best progressive rock band ever. And Neil Peart was just... So that's a sad day if that happened today, I think. But prayers for his family and the loss of a great, phenomenal, very influential drummer. He will be missed. All right, so I'm on the phone today with somebody, and that somebody is talking to me. I'm sharing. I'm multitasking. Share the show on Facebook. Listen in now. On the air now. Come check it out. Come check it out. Will that work, though? That's a Spreaker. Come check it out. There you go. So I'm talking on the phone, and believe it or not, I motivated this person to quit being a fat fucker. I'm sorry, gravity challenged to a reasonable weight. Then they shared with me that their joints are hurting. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not this. I'm not that. But I do know something. What? What? Whoa. What's this? I know it fucking sucks, man. Neil Peart died. All these guys are getting old and are going to start dropping like flies, and it's sad because it takes me back to my teenage years and rock and whatever. Anyway, so this person calls me, or I called them actually. What? How come my light's on my phone? And they were saying this and that about, I didn't even turn it off, dumbass. Turn it off. Turn your light off. Thank you. And I said, well, I know a little bit about that. Now, it's called chondroitin and glucosamine. And it might be chondroitin, I think it's chondroitin. Anyway. People that their cartilage and joints have been wearing out have taken this stuff. Now, you can just go to Amazon.com and type chondroitin and glucosamine, and all these supplements, especially for varmints, will pop up. Now, I'm not giving advice. I can't confirm. I cannot deny. I can only share. Sure. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing in our neighborhood. And if your joints hurt, just smoke some pot. No, I didn't say that. Take some chondroitin and glucosamine. And I guess you'll have to do your own homework, but I recall when I was researching this years ago that people were taking it, and allegedly their doctor's like, oh, no, it's a bunch of horseshit, whatever. And they went in there in surgery or an MRI or whatever, and they actually allegedly found, I guess, that their cartilage was regrowing. And I kind of heard that with a varmint, too. I don't know if it was a dog or whatever, but they did the same thing. So that ruins the placebo effect because it's a fucking dog. And Lord and behold, there was new cartilage because the varmints were taking chondroitin and glucosamine. So I also take this, which is Animal Flex. Now, I'm not saying this does that. It might. I don't even know if it has chondroitin in glucosamine. I'm not sure. Joint Construction Complex. Glucosamine? Yes, it does. Chondroitin. Okay. So, this is the reviews that were on Amazon. And I've known people. I'm not going to name names anymore because I said I wouldn't say that anymore. And that for anonymity, just for referral. But I knew somebody that had joint pain all the time from autoimmune problems and blah, blah, blah. And I know you can get, what is it? What are those shots you get for pain? Anyway, you can get those. You can, whatever. Again, this is not medical advice. This is not anything. This is supplements and all natural thing. But it's called Animal Flex. And it's made by, who the fuck is this made by? Universal Nutrition. They make animal packs. Their products, as far as I'm concerned, are pretty good. And I'm not getting a dime for sharing this, but I read the reviews on Amazon. And again, it's called Animal Flex. Animal and then Flex. Go to Amazon or do a Google search. Do all your homework. But people were ranting and raving about this stuff. So I bought it. And I really don't have any joint problems or whatever, but I'm using it more as a proactive measure. I mean, I don't even know. I can't read this shit because it's so fucking small. Sorry. There is nothing wrong with my eyes. Just everything seems to be getting smaller for some reason. Take a picture of this, see what's in it. So I would say, and this is a powder, so you mix it with water or whatever you want, and your body assimilates it a lot easier than swallowing a bunch of horse pills. Where's my camera? Da 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 da. Take a picture. There's one picture. Really? You're gonna time out? Okay, whatever. Okay, there's one. And then there is another. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Okay. So what's in this crap is this. Well, calories, you don't care. Vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, selenium, manganese. Then under the joint construction complex, glucosamine, methylsulfone, something or another, chondroitin sulfate A, chondroitin sulfate C, joint lubrication and support, KY jelly. Really? Oops, wait a minute. That's the wrong product. Collagen hydrolysate and ginger root. And there's other stuff in there, but for the most part, that's on the chart. So anyway, people that have had inflammatory joint problems and pain and just joint problems in general, this stuff is the shit. So there you go. Because the person I talked to today was saying some things, and I'm like, well, do you know about glucosamine and chondroitin or whatever? And he's like, no. Like, okay. Well, you should do a show on that. And I go, okay, so I just did, kind of. I'm not going to talk an hour about this crap, but there you go. Take it or leave it. I don't really care what you do, but I'm sharing, and I've never shared or gave my opinion on something that I haven't done or used, and I got this shit in my hand, and I've been using it for quite a while. So there you go, kids, okay? So if it helps, it helps. One thing I will say is this. I wouldn't expect to take this and feel the effects, even if you eat a whole can of this shit. I would just keep doing it because it just seems to me logically and common sense that it's going to take time for this to show its effects. How much time? I don't know. But I would say I would give it a good chance, 6 months to a year, and see what happens, because we're all falling apart. And if there's a natural way to address some concerns or whatever, then why not? So there you go. And since we're on it, I bought this shit, which is lungs for your mucus, because I really don't like cough syrup. I'm not sick now, but I still have a little bit of phlegm. Phlegm. What's his name? Ahmed. A-C phlegm. So that's this. So I've been taking this crap to clear out my lungs. So we'll do that, because I'm not crazy about decongestants and cough syrup and all that other crap that's in there. I don't even know what's in here, but it seems to be working. So there you go with that, too. So that's enough of the health crap. Health points or whatever you want to call it. So what's going on? Nothing? How much time did I waste? 20 minutes, I bet? Let me see. Oh, who's that? This don't have a timer on it. What? Oh, wait a minute. I want to go back to my Facebook homepage. Yeah, here. Here we go. Dingbat alert. Let's see. Let's just drop in and see what's going on. Hang on. Play.
I'm going to keep doing it, but I want them to know two things.
Boy, that's a bad echo. It had nothing to do with me.
Where we aim it is, first of all, we got a problem with these giant corporations.
Let's listen to the
and you picked Facebook.
Wise
I'm all in.
stumping of Pocahontas.
This one presents the threat about disinformation, but the problem is everywhere.
Well, like
corporations,
your Native American Indian?
They swallowed up the little local business, then they swallowed up the medium-sized regional business, then they swallowed up what used to be the giant business.
That's capitalism.
And now they are huge. And the problem about their being so huge is not just economic.
Not what she said.
It's power. They now have power.
Yeah,
power
because the government isn't regulating antitrust laws.
Customers, power over the communities where they're located, and power in Washington. So no one will cross them.
Uh-oh.
Let's be clear.
I agree with her.
It is time for a president who has the courage to enforce the antitrust laws and break these guys up. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg, I'm looking at you.
That scares me. Her and Barry Sanders make a lot of sense. Barry Sanders, Bernie Sanders. Uh-oh.
Yeah. You ready to do that? You're ready. Yep.
That means you got to take all the lobby money and all that shit out, too, which ain't going to happen.
Let me say one more quick thing.
Okay.
We got to make it from here to the election. And this is the scary part that Joanne raised, right? We can talk about what we'll do when we win, but we got to get across that hurdle. So let me give you the one thing.
God, that's horrible
you can always
audio.
tell a data nerd, right? One piece of information that is useful here. There's one thing that beats fake news. You know what it is?
You.
Face-to-face information. Face-to-face. Person-to-person. Phone. Hearing it from someone
Dingbat alert! Dingbat alert!
Someone who's standing in front of you in the grocery store. Somebody who's pumping gas next to you. So what that means, and this is why I have tried to build my campaign this way. When I said earlier I'm not spending my time off doing the fundraisers, sucking up to the millionaires and billionaires, partly it's the corruption issue, but partly it's the importance of building a grassroots movement. It's important that we actually have lots of people, because it's the reaching out that's the one thing that can beat back the disinformation. It's the knocking on doors and talking to people by phone that is the one thing that causes people to back up from the crazy lights. Doesn't cause everybody to. I don't kid myself. It's not 100%, but it can move people and move them a lot. So a big part of what we're trying to do right now, think about this as voters in a primary. There are kind of two ideas for how you build a presidential race in a primary and then in a general election. I was told about this from the experts. And that is the number one way.
Oh, the bankers from the meltdown? Those experts?
Go collect a lot of money from rich people and make a few appearances locally, but you plan to run a bunch of TV ads. That's basically the idea behind how you build a winning presidential candidacy. The other is to say we're going to build it grassroots. We're going to build it with $5 and $25 donations. We're going to build it with people who donate an hour, people who agree to come in and do call time on Tuesday evenings. Build it from the ground up. If we build the first one, and that's all we've got, and that's what some candidates are building, if you build that kind, you're wildly subject to the disinformation. You have no comparative advantage over Donald Trump. They'll run their ads, we'll run our ads.
You're not going to beat
Who want to listen will listen to our ads.
President
People who want to
Trump.
listen to them will listen to their ads. And that's it. If you build the grassroots movement, if you've got enough people who are knocking on doors, enough people who get it and are willing to put some of themselves into it, that is our chance.
Yeah.
That's
so we
how
can
we
get
can
in
win, not
and
only the
lie,
primary,
and then,
but
the
how we
situation's
win in
much
November
worse than we thought it
2020.
was. We
You're
have to raise your
confused.
taxes. You're going to
How-
get fucked even more. And then all the big companies and corporations are going to go out of the country again and go, fuck all he is. And then there's going to be people unemployed, and we're starting all over again. I'm sorry. She's a dingbat, and she's wrong. Her and Bernie Sanders they sound like, I mean, I even agreed with her antitrust and monopoly laws or whatever. And see, that's because the antitrust laws weren't enforced. So they got bigger and bigger, and the banks are still getting bigger and bigger and everything else, and everybody bails them out because, oh my God, we can't lose all these jobs in the auto parts industry and this and that and everything else. Yes, you can, because that's called capitalism. And if you lose or run your business risky and it fails, it fails. Okay? So that much is true, but it didn't fail. And it got bailed out because the people in power. What? I'm trying to fucking talk here. Ugh. Please stand by. I'm trying to do a free show here. The hell is wrong with you people? La 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 la. Yes, I did. So they scared the living shit out of you. Oh, the comedy. That's what it is, a comedy act. The economy's going to fail, and it's not going to happen on my watch. And that's why the Attorney General did not go after the bankers, because he didn't want it to be associated with him taking down the economy and the bankers. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. In the meantime, my line of credit, I just shared this with somebody today. My line of credit, which 99.9% of small businesses have for cash flow crunch issues, where they borrow money from a bank, unsecured loan, in a certain amount of dollars, and you take that when you're running out of money because you're in slow times. It's called a line of credit, and it's established by whatever the bank wants to give you or what you ask for, or both. And you kind of dip into it when you need extra money for slow times, like now in this business. But see, when the meltdown happened, first thing my bank did was call me and go, Mr. Parsons, we're going to have to take your line of credit and turn it into an installment loan. Oh, really? Gee, thanks. What the fuck did I do? Then I had to make a decision. Inject all of my retirement money, a whopping $60,000 nonetheless. What? I don't think so. I went out last night. I swear to God, people don't bug me until I start doing this fucking show. I don't know. That sounds rude, but it's true. Yet. Because they have to go to boxing after this, and I'm trying to be a nice, responsible person by doing the show. So anyway, I lost my line of credit, had to inject $60,000 into the business, and 60% of it had to go to penalties and taxes and whatever to the IRS, which I asked, can you give me a break here? It's a meltdown and blah, 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 blah. And all they responded with is, when can we expect a check? But in the meantime, all the banks and everybody else and all these other industries got recapitalized, they got borrowed taxpayer money called TARP, and they were bailed out. See, I'm getting upset about this already. My blood pressure's going through the fucking roof. So they all get bailed out because they just can't fail, can't lose their power. See, this is all about retaining power. And the people that have had control of all these industries since the Industrial Revolution. Excuse me. But like I've said, there's a club and we're not in it. Nobody could give a rat's ass if my fucking company, except my employees, went under. And of course me. So where's my bailout? Oh, you don't get one. No shit. You know why? Because I'm not in the club. And number two, that's capitalism. But I will say fiscal irresponsibility and policy by the government is what caused the meltdown. Not anybody else but them. Greedy people in the real estate and mortgage industry, where there was incentives by the government to sell houses and no doc proof of a job, no doc loans, and people got 1, 2, 3 houses way beyond what they could afford on adjustable rates. Then they took out home equity loans to buy a bunch of shit for their fucking house, and the shit hit the fan. Everybody defaulted, and guess what? Oops. So guess what? Now money's tightened up, and for you that didn't do anything, you're going to pay. And the people that caused this are going to get on their knees and give the president a blowjob and go, please, please save us. Please. Oh, please, please, please. And he did, and they did. And guess what? Okay, here's all your money in your cash. Oh, and then by the way, I'm going to write myself a $200 million check because I fixed everything that I fucked up. Okay? Do you get it? None of that's going to change. I don't care what she says. I don't care what Bernie Sanders says. I don't care what any of them say, because if you're the one that has all the power and you're on call and you're president or secretary of treasury or attorney general or whatever, you're not going to be associated in the history books with going down with the ship when you're at the helm. That's what all this is about. That's what all this dog and pony show horseshit is about. This isn't about grassroots crap, because all that's going to go out the window when the next meltdown or melt up happens here and the currency fails, because it's not just going to be the housing industry this time. It's going to be our currency, which everybody's starting to abandon anyway. Whatever you do, please, for the love of God, do your homework on the Federal Reserve, our currency system, how it originated, how it is being used, fractional reserve lending, mortgages, treasury bonds, treasury bills, negative interest rates. It's all going downhill. And last time the Federal Reserve tried to slow down or stop quantitative easing, which is printing money, the economy went in a shitter, last December because of it. They don't have a choice. The only way we can keep, it's kind of like having a flat tire. Instead of getting it fixed by either replacing it or putting a patch on it, you just keep blowing it up with air. It doesn't fix the tire, but it still keeps you on the road. Unsafely, I might add. So don't do that. But you're going to have to learn about hard money, gold, silver, the gold standard, President Nixon taking us off the gold standard, currencies, Bitcoin. Good segue into Bitcoin. I just bought some Bitcoin cash. Was it cash? Bitcoin? What the hell is it? Who's saying what? I'm not giving advice. I just learned the hard way. And trust me, when you lose everything in your early 50s, for whatever reason they may be, and you're starting over, you're really fucking paying attention. So I'm paying attention this time because now there's nothing on the inside or people behind me that can betray me and take me down. I only have to pay attention to the outside. What the hell was I going to type? Okay. I was going to look at Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, see, whoever they are, don't like it because it actually gives your freedom back to your money or currency, and you can do whatever you want with it. I bought some Bitcoin Cash, which is going through the roof. Whatever. I'm not giving you advice. Seeing at 55 now, with not a pot to piss in and filing bankruptcy and completing it in June, I don't care. Because see, y'all are going to probably experience this shit, God forbid. And you're going to go, what in the fuck just happened? Well, when hyperinflation finally gets here and everybody around the world that we keep pissing off for whatever reasons tells us to take our dollars and shove them in our ass, and then we don't retaliate by going to war and blowing them up, all those dollars are going to come flying back here, and you're going to see inflation like you would not believe, and I hope we don't. But see, you don't. The only reason why, in my opinion, we get away with printing all the fucking money that we do is because, we give $1.7 billion or thereabouts to Iran. I thought we were having a money problem. I thought our spending is way above our income, which is technically being bankrupt. No, but we can fly a whole big-ass plane full of fucking money over to Iran, and everything's fine. I thought we just had a meltdown not that long ago. I don't get it. But see, it's all those dollars are going to come home to roost. There's going to be way too many because they're all going to come flying back here, and nobody will want them, and they'll say, shove your dollar in your ass, and guess what? The potential for inflation and hyperinflation is pretty good. But see, then you get Bitcoin and you have gold and silver, which I'd really highly recommend you read books on those two subjects. Bitcoin comes out, and it's like, what's that? Well, you're going to have to do your homework on it because I'm not going to get into it from the very beginning and the genesis of it now. But Bitcoin, I actually met a person that they said they were the person that invented it. Really. Out of the entire planet in Loveland, Colorado, I met Satoshi. Interesting. Who would have thought? But there's a lot of reasons why Bitcoin works. One is because there's no central bank to go through it. And it's pretty much like if you want to send Bitcoin to me or I send it to you or buy something, it's like instant messaging, and it's pretty much instantaneous. Not exactly that fast. It depends on what the miners are doing. There's miners out there with the blockchain. So like if you want to send Bitcoin, you got your key and you hold it up to a camera or whatever, and it's a QR code. And then it goes into the internet, and it gets processed by the miners, and it's all secured and encrypted, and the miners are doing mathematic equations by not figuring it out, but by not figuring it out. They're not looking for the answer. They're looking for what the answer isn't. That's why it takes so much processor time and speed and crap, because they're going through all these what isn't the answer. So then when they finally find what it isn't, and just by to deduction, it's what it is, and it goes into a blockchain. And a blockchain is nothing more than a secured solution, mathematical equation that is done by all the miners on a network, and they successfully completed a transaction, and then they start building up a reward and get paid in Bitcoin. But once here's the thing, once the blockchain is done, it's there forever, and it cannot be altered. It's like sealed up and put into Fort Knox, and it's done. And it's there forever. I know nothing lasts forever, but that's what they tell you. And that's what's so great about it. But when you do use a Bitcoin transaction, besides your Bitcoin key, you have a public key and your personal key. And you can't do a Bitcoin transaction without it, without either one. So once you get all that and that jives, then the process starts happening. And all it is your Bitcoin key, but it's not your identity. So that's why everybody's freaking out. Like, oh, well, geez, you could just send money to, God knows who and God knows what and whatever, and nobody knows. Well, yeah, that's true, but depending on if you go through somebody like Coinbase or some of these places that hold your Bitcoins, and you do all your transactions through there, you have to show a driver's license and a valid ID. And so your Bitcoin key there is identity to it, and they will comply with the authorities if they're asked to. And it says it right in their disclaimer. So it's really not true that you send Bitcoin without some type of identity. I mean, technically you do. The transaction is. But it can be traced back to somebody like Coinbase. And if the authorities are tracking that back to them, probably through an IP address or what, I wouldn't really know. But the point is that they can prove identity to whose transaction sent it, maybe not received it, I'm not sure, but definitely sent it. Or if I received Bitcoin, what I received. So, but in an analogy, it's like it's a lot easier to get a bunch of cash and dollars and $100 bills and do transactions illegally like that, which happens. I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know, i.e. drug deals or whatever. And a suitcase of cash is gone. There's no way how you know who has it and who you're giving it to. So that argument sucks. So it's just bullshit. And in fact, if the blockchain can never be altered and is always there, then there's your evidence of a transaction, at least with Bitcoin keys. So there you go. But the real reason why they don't like it is because you don't need a bank to go through to do a transaction. It's peer-to-peer, person-to-person. So, but Bitcoin's an amazing thing because it's almost, this is just my opinion, it's not recommendations or whatever. I've done my homework on this stuff. And there's a halving, you got to do your homework. I don't know what, I think it's every 4 years or thereabouts, where the amount of Bitcoins that's going to be produced is halved every 4 years. So there's only going to be a certain amount. So what that means, in theory, as I understand it, is, now this is just Bitcoin. This isn't Ethereum or Litecoin or any of that, because in my opinion, the only one that's going to survive all of this cryptocurrency shit is Bitcoin. Okay, that's just my opinion. That's my gut feeling. It's got the market cap. It's got the most money in it, and it's the strongest, and it's been around, and I don't think it's going anywhere. But who knows? What do I know? You're listening to a person that lost everything, busting their ass for 35 fucking years. So what do I know? But I don't really have a choice. I have to legally build my wealth back up. And with negative interest rates in CDs, which I never bought in my life, and the market in an all-time high, that's not for me. I'm never going to get my wealth back because, God willing, I have 25, 30 years tops to live. 25. So ain't going to work for me. Buying another house with my credit destroyed ain't going to work. Trying to rebuild that, but it'll be on my credit report, as I understand it, for 7 years, which will always just be there. It's like, oh no, he filed bankruptcy. Can't give him a loan. Can't do it. Wouldn't be prudent. 1,000 points of light. Whatever. Huh. So, I'll never get a reasonable interest rate. Probably not. For a while. So, whatever. So, I got to do what I got to do legally to get some wealth back up. And I've decided to do that through gold, silver, and Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin, so it's not really the same, but it kind of is. So it's like a derivative of Bitcoin. So Ethereum is more blockchain technology. Litecoin, I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, I am into Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Tezos, which gives a 5%. And I think it's an annual return in whatever you're investing. So you get a 5% right off the bat, as I understand it. And I'm into XRP just a little bit too. Here, portfolio. I'm not going to tell you what I got, but how much at least. Tezos, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, and just a little bit of a... No, that's it. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and Tezos. That's it. Tezos. That's it. That's what I'm in. So you can do whatever the fuck you want. But the whole halving and everything, and the idea behind that is that it's inflation proof. So when there's less of it and demand keeps going up, the value should go up just by basic supply and demand. So unlike a fiat currency that gets printed and printed and printed and more, the reason why things cost more all the time is because there's more currency being printed, which makes the value of your currency and i.e. purchasing power less. That's why shit 20 years ago was probably half of what it costs today, just because of quantitative easing, yes, or printing money. But the problem is now today, when they did print money, it usually went back and trickled down into the economy, into us peasants, but it stayed up at the top with all the friends from the government, all the big businesses and banks, and they're not letting it trickle down. They're keeping it. Or they're repurchasing shares. That's why there's one theory. Just watch Max Kaiser and the Kaiser Report, him and Stacy, that why all these people are getting richer and richer and they repurchase their own stock and blah, 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 that's not trickling down to us peasants in wages going up. It's actually getting harder because they're keeping that money. But things get more expensive because they keep printing the shit out of money. So therefore, the dollar that you have is worth less and less and less because of the printing and more dollars and time's going by and you're not getting a raise. So it's actually unsustainable. It's called the Cantillon effect or something like that. So unless you're in the market and you're, I don't know how you could be. I can't afford it. But unless you're in the stock market, you're really not going to benefit from this. And personally, my opinion, I think some of it, debatable, or all of it, debatable, is inflationary because everything's getting jacked up because of it's inflating the prices of everything because of the quantitative easing. Yes. I guess valuations on some stocks are through the roof. It's crazy. So, if and when that all comes crashing down, people in countries, this is just not the United States, it's going to be a global thing. It's already happening into like Venezuela and other countries that are hurting, looking for ways to save their country economically. And one of those ways is looking at cryptocurrency, which would be Bitcoin. I think if some other ones look at other things, I still think no matter what, it's all going to be just Bitcoin. That's just my opinion. That's my hunch. That's what's going on. But some of these other lower capitalization cryptos will be volatile, which means you could lose money or you could make money. But it seems to be that Bitcoin's kind of flattening out and getting more stable. But with the halving coming up this May, I'm seeing people predicting, and I'm not saying it, but they're predicting, just watch YouTube videos, that Bitcoin is going to go to 20 grand. Or some people are saying it's going to zero. See, but here's the thing. I've lost everything, and I wish that upon nobody, and I never thought in a bajillion years it would be me. I was a loyal husband. I was a great father. I was a great employer, and no, I'm not a narcissist. These are facts. And I never thought in a million years I would be starting over, let alone at 55, and alone, for that matter. Everything was destroyed. That was the point of the whole thing, and that's what was told to my face, and that's exactly what happened. So I've been through the holy shit. I'm living in a one-bedroom apartment like I'm 19 years old again, starting all over at 55, alone. And those are just the facts. Some of you are in the same boat or have been in the same boat. But quite honestly, how in the hell, and I want to know this, how in the hell do you recover even past 30, let alone 40, or in your 50s like me, and have some pot to piss in and retire with? I don't know. Time is not on your side, and with rates so low, you're not going to get shit out of a savings account because you really have to watch, or I have to watch, the high risk. And rates are so low, you ain't going to get shit out of a savings account. So I don't know if you want to buy bonds. I don't know. See, that's all up to you. I don't know. But what I do know is that people with power and calling the shots do not like Bitcoin. So in that case, that's contrarian, and that makes me go, okay, why don't they like it? Because they're scared to death of it, and there's no controlling it because it's peer-to-peer. You can't throw interest on it, blah, 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 blah. Read the book, The Bitcoin Standard, and read as many books as you can on hard currency, and Mike Maloney with goldsilver.org, Peter Schiff, Jim Rogers, Franklin Sanders, goldprice.org. There's plenty. Max Kaiser. Kaiser Report. There are plenty of resources for you to do your homework and call your own shots. But right now, gold and silver for me, in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Tezos for me. That's it. Whatever you do, I don't care, because I kind of had this conversation today with when it comes to our kids. Oh, my dad, you don't know nothing. It's different, blah, 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 blah. Until they get older and get 30, around 30, and go, oh, yeah, you know what? You were right. Can I borrow some money? I fucked up. Yeah, right. This is the same thing. This is for people that are in the same boat that I'm in or have been or going to be. And there's the key there, going to be. There's going to be a lot of people. They're going to be left with barely anything. In my opinion, assets and whatever those are extremely overinflated right now because of the policies that are going on, and the money is just being transferred from the bank to the rich, and none of it's coming down. But the rich are buying a lot of stuff, and that's driving up a lot of assets, property, houses, whatever. And if you're lucky enough to own a house, you're probably getting making some good money, I would think, because all that's driving up, because that's what the elites are doing. They're buying that stuff. So that's the market. So you're benefiting from it just by owning that. Me, I don't own shit. I own a motorcycle, a car, and what I've been saying here, and that's it. So you all can do whatever you want. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm sharing it. I don't know how I got into it. I guess by listening to Pocahontas. But be very wary and very careful, and I'll end it on this. The reason why we're in a situation is because of the meltdown and the severance of gold. I mean, you can go back as far as you want. The Federal Reserve Act being passed, whatever. Read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. That'll be enough to piss you off. And gold and silver and the monetary system and all that, and then now Bitcoin, and the meltdown and what they did to quote-unquote fix it, because they all got saved and we got left paying the bill, and nobody's benefiting from it. But when all the house of cards fall, it's all going to fall on us again. And just like 2008, you might lose half of your stuff or more value. And being on a fixed income and whatever, or losing your job and you can't pay your property taxes, so you're going to lose your house anyway. It's all a potential disaster, and it's something I have been through. I am not trying to scare people. I'm not trying to make them get up and rise and take action. I'm saying educate yourself, kind of look forward, because most people are in the dark about this stuff. I am not. And this is why I started this dumbass show, the Red Pill Show. Because it was unfair, it was unjustified, and because, in my opinion, the actions that these people took that had the power to do it to save their own ass left us with the bill, that left the generation behind us with the bill, and the generation behind them with the bill. The bill will never get paid. And then when someone comes out like Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders and saying this and saying that, which they're actually pretty factual and truthful, but the point is nobody gets a free ride. Socialism will not work. There's no such thing as free anything unless you're at the top and you get money from the Treasury and the Federal Reserve that gets shoved right back into your coffers and recapitalized, and you hang on to it, and you only buy shit that you can live your extravagant lifestyle with yachts and boats and 50 houses, and like somebody that's running for president now, you shouldn't do this and do that. You should take public transportation as I fly on my private fucking jet and have 11 houses and have my limo take me here to there. That's what's going to happen. Do your own homework. That's it. Wake the fuck up. I'm done. Thanks for listening to me. Have a great day. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show.